So good morning, everyone. My name is Denise Hill, and we're so delighted to have those of you in person, and we have quite a few online as well with us today. And just to give you a little bit of background on this conference, this is the second conference. It's grown from a small idea between friends where we said there should be a group like this. There should be interdisciplinary discussions about all the areas and aspects of vaccine law. And after saying there ought to be a few times, we said, if there's gonna be, we gotta do it. And so to see what it's grown into and the multidisciplinary, multidimensional group of people, many of you here today, is just very exciting. So we're delighted to have moved our conference this year to the nation's capital and here at George Washington University. I have a couple of housekeeping things to share with you, and then we'll get started on the official program. So, in terms of our virtual audience, welcome to you and thank you for your attendance today. We do have a live stream audience, again, from across the country who are joining us for our conference this week. And those joining virtually, we have a session moderator in the chat session that we would love to have you put questions or comments that you would like to be added to the discussion. So please do take note of that and take advantage of it as well. We would notice that there's a different stream for each session today, and that you will look into those and want to join. Now, because we can't, from a capacity standpoint, stream every one of the 28 breakout sessions, we will be having those available on demand for all of you as part of your attendance for this week's programs. So for everyone, there's the mobile app, CVent, which helps run the program. We're in this new electronic age, so we're not using as much paper. We're taking advantage of that, and it's working really smoothly based upon our experience at the incredible pre-conference event that we had yesterday. Now, the easiest way to access it is to scan the QR code on the back of the printed agenda for those who are here. If you need assistance, please stop by the conference registration desk in the lobby. And for those who are online, there's a technical assistance place for you as well. The most up-to-date conference agenda is found on the mobile app and the conference website. However, please note that only the conference app and the at-a-glance agenda you received at check-in, for those of you who are here, those contain the session location details, and that's for security purposes. Please refer to these places for where you should be throughout the week. Many of our sessions today are accredited for CLE credit, and we have some that are also credited for pharmacy education credit. Please refer to the CVent app and online agenda to reference which presentations will be eligible. During the sessions, appropriate codes and instructions will be shared with attendees. So there'll be a big number, kind of like yesterday Richard was reading it like it was bingo, and he'll be noting that for you to write down. Certain states do require that, particularly for those who are participating online or virtually. If you're on social media, please post about today's events. During the conference and afterwards, we're really trying to get the word out about that special nexus between law and vaccines and public health. And so we appreciate your giving us some shout outs. To do that, use the hashtag #NVLC, I should say hashtag, right? Hashtag NVLC 2023, so NVLC 2023, for your posts. For those of us joining in the room today, again, note that we have refreshments all day on the second floor of the art gallery, which is upstairs in the lounge above us. Box lunches will also be available there, as well as outside of the breakout rooms that are, if you go out the side of this building, there's a courtyard that you just walk right through. It's literally across the street in kitty corner to the back side of the law school where the other sessions are that aren't in this room. And those, of course, are located in the app and the sheet that you received today. And also, a quick note that we do have security monitoring the conference, and for that reason, you need to always have your badge that you received to make sure that you can have access to the different sessions and materials. So please wear your name badge throughout the day and bring it back with you tomorrow. And overall, the conference registration desk right outside here can assist you with any questions or issues throughout the day and the week. Finally, again, thank you for joining the program. This session is again eligible for CLE credit, and you will receive a follow-up email on how to claim that credit during the week following the conference, so it won't be immediate. Please make note again of the code that you'll see. It will be very evident, and of course, we on the stage will call it out for anyone who has a difficulty seeing it. And read the code. We will read the code displayed at least twice. So we're not saying it because we don't think you understand. That's the rule. So it will also be displayed on the slide on the screen at that time. And this first part is 1.5 credits of CLE, and we'll start out with code MF48. MF48. So thank you for joining us, and let's go ahead and get started. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Richard Hughes IV, who did an extraordinary job yesterday on our Vaccines for Children pre-conference event, celebrating 30 years of that program, and giving out our inaugural Vaccine Law Vanguard Award, which is the preeminent honor for those who are in the field of vaccine law. Richard is going to introduce to us another very important and special person, especially here at George Washington University. So Richard, with that, I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you so much, Denise. It's such a pleasure to help open this conference and welcome everybody to the George Washington University. In addition to my law practice, I've had the privilege of teaching here at the school, in the School of Public Health where we were yesterday, and then now in the law school, which happens to be the law school where I attended law school. So it's really just such a great privilege and honor to welcome everybody to the George Washington University and to introduce my dean. We're so pleased to have Dean Matthew as the dean of our law school. She is a health lawyer, and I won't say that she's my favorite dean because Dean Goldman is fantastic, but it's a close call. It is Renee Gentry here. Okay, Renee's not here yet. So Renee Gentry leads our vaccine injury litigation clinic here at the law school, and I teach vaccines and preventive services law, and so we have a growing vaccine law component as a part of our health law program that I'm really proud of. And so with that, it is my great honor to introduce Dr. Dayna Bowen Matthew, the Harold H. Green Professor of Law and Dean of the George Washington University Law School. Dean Matthew joined GW Law in August of 2020 to become the first woman to lead the law school as dean in the school's 158-year history. A leader in public health and civil rights law who focuses on disparities in health, health care, and the social determinants of health, Dean Matthew is the author of the best-selling book, Just Medicine, A Cure for Racial Inequality in American Healthcare, and the recently released Just Health, Treating Structural Racism to Heal America. She is also the co-author of a casebook on public health law, ethics, and policy. Dean Matthew is an innovative and entrepreneurial leader. Before her arrival at the George Washington University, she served on the faculty of the University of Virginia School of Law as the William L. Matheson and Robert M. Morgenthau Distinguished Professor of Law and the F. Palmer Weber Research Professor of Civil Liberties and Human Rights. There, she co-founded and directed the UVA Equity Center, an interdisciplinary research institute dedicated to building relationships between the university and its surrounding community to redress racial and socioeconomic inequality. Since her arrival, among her many groundbreaking achievements, Dean Matthew established a new health law program, which includes a health equity clinic dedicated to representing indigent patients experiencing legal barriers to good health. Dean Matthew's interests and influence are not limited to the academy. She has held a number of important positions in the policy world. She served as the Robert Wood Johnson Health Policy Fellow for U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow, as Senior Advisor in the Office of Civil Rights at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and as a Visiting Fellow for the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. She currently serves as a non-resident senior scholar in the Center for Health Policy at the Brookings Institution and is a member of the American Law Institute. Dean Matthew joins us today for the second National Vaccine Law Conference. Her presence could not be more fitting given that vaccine equity came to the forefront during the COVID-19 pandemic. And not only because the pandemic coincided with her first year at GW Law, her commitment to addressing structural racism and achieving health equity has included bringing the conversation here to GW Law and facilitating conversations with stakeholders. And we thank her for allowing us to bring this conference to GW Law when those issues could not be of greater importance in the field of vaccine law. Indeed, we have an entire conference track devoted to vaccine access and equity, wherein we will discuss legal structures that facilitate or inhibit vaccine access and equity throughout the conference. Dean Matthew received a BA in economics from Harvard Radcliffe College, a JD from the UVA School of Law, and a PhD in health and behavioral sciences from the University of Colorado, Denver. A visionary, energetic, and strategic leader, we are so fortunate to have her at the helm of our law school and here today at the conference to welcome us to the George Washington University. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Dayna Bowen Matthew. Thank you, Dean.
So how many of you have children? Yeah, if I had known he was going to read that, I would have had a voicemail recording so that I could send it to my children who do not think much of me at all. So, did you record it? I will pay money for that. That was an amazing introduction. Thank you, Richard. This is the kind of graduate we have at GW Law School. He's amazing. And I'm so grateful to be here. I'm also grateful very much to Denise Hill for bringing the second annual National Vaccine Injury Conference here to GW. Isn't it a fitting place for this conference to take place? And isn't it a fitting time for this conference to take place? So your challenge this morning is that Richard gave all of my remarks. And so I'm just going to ad lib now and just chat with you about how exciting this place is for the work that you're doing at this time in history. It seemed like maybe a year ago, vaccine and the importance of vaccines left the public view because of a premature declaration of the end of the COVID-19 crisis, right? So it receded into the public's view, except not so much. It burst back onto view yesterday or the day before when we welcomed the announcement that COVID-19 boosters were going to be available again. And so back up in the public discourse is all of the inequality, all of the infrastructure, all of the concerns that we have about vaccine, and about the fact that we have porous borders, right? That we do not in the United States stand alone. We are not isolated, and there's no such thing as thinking that any man, country, city, community, or people group are an island. So we have to work together. We have to work together to see the health emergencies and the health advances that we're all committed to. The pandemic did expose inequalities and exacerbated insecurities about vaccination. These issues arise at multiple points along the vaccine life cycle. And the effort to find resolution of these issues therefore benefits greatly from exactly what's happening here, and that is to say transdisciplinary approaches that bring together participants from different areas of law, of science, of medicine, of public health to share knowledge and experience that will benefit people here and around the globe. The George Washington University Law School is, as I've said earlier, uniquely positioned as an institution in addressing these issues, not only because we have graduates such as Richard, and we are associated with a premier public health school led by the indomitable Lynn Goldman, but also because there is expansive programming throughout the university that's relevant to equality and equity and the kind of things that you will be talking about today. So I'll take a moment and just let you know that this university has just also charted what I consider to be the supersized version of the Equity Center that Richard described at UVA. When we were at UVA, we built the Equity Center. It's going like gangbusters. It's wonderful. But here we just chartered something called the Equity Institute, and that is an institute that so far 9 out of the 10 universities, colleges here at GWU are collaborating in to look at equity issues across racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic lines. So whether you are in public health or political science or engineering or law, all of the faculty who have at the core of their research racial and ethnic equity, socioeconomic inequality are collaborating and building the kind of research institute that could benefit the vaccine equality cause and movement. In addition to that, we have a robust intellectual property law program, which has been ranked in the top 5 programs since rankings began and was established in 1872. We've established a health, equity, policy, and advisory clinic. We've established, of course, the 30-year strong vaccine injury litigation clinic that is celebrating an anniversary worth shouting about. So I will say GW Law happens to be the right place at the right time for the right conversations that you are leading. We hope to continue our commitment, our involvement, and our work towards equity in law by furthering the efforts that you will have all day at the center of your conversations. We welcome you, and we thank you for being here.